Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Geopolitical and Military News. In this video, we will talk about the approval by the Netherlands and Denmark for Ukraine to use their F-16 fighter jets as they see fit, as long as it is against military targets. This Thursday, August 29th, in an interview with the Dutch newspaper, General Onno Eichelscheim, commander of the Dutch Armed Forces, said that his country has not imposed any restrictions on the use of the F-16 fighter jets sent to Ukraine, with the sole condition that the jets be used exclusively against military targets in Russia. According to the commander, the Netherlands is aware of the various restrictions that other countries are imposing on Ukraine regarding the use of the weapons being delivered to Kyiv, with many countries prohibiting Ukrainians from using their weapons against Russian military targets within Russian territory, allowing their use only against Russian targets located in Ukrainian territory under Russian occupation. These restrictions prevent Ukraine from hitting important Russian strategic installations, such as, for example, large ammunition depots, the air bases from which bombers take off to attack Ukrainian cities daily, and the Russian refineries and fuel depots that Vladimir Putin uses to finance his invasion. The attacks that Ukraine has been carrying out against these installations are conducted exclusively with long-range weapons developed by Ukrainians. Weapons that, as we know, have range and technology that are comparatively inferior to those available in the West. Due to these restrictions, Ukraine is limited to only intercepting the missiles launched by Russian planes, when the more correct and intelligent approach from a strategic point of view would be to attack the Russian planes still inside their bases in Russian territory. Despite increasing international pressure for these restrictions to be lifted, the United States, Ukraine's main ally, insists on keeping them in place to, according to them, avoid escalating the war, an excuse seen by Ukraine as senseless, given the daily Russian attacks on Ukrainian cities. All these limitations deeply benefit Russia, which thus manages to concentrate large quantities of equipment, supplies, troops, vehicles, and aircraft in areas close to the Ukrainian border, ensuring a very important strategic advantage. In the current phase of the war, one of the greatest threats to Ukraine are cruise missiles and glide bombs, kits installed on freefall bombs composed of retractable wings and GPS navigators, which guarantee a range of up to 80 kilometers and an accuracy that, depending on certain conditions, can be up to 4 meters. According to the Russian government, glide bombs, because they are cheap, easy to produce and launch, are receiving high priority, with new models, such as a gigantic 3-ton one, being developed and tested to be launched against targets within Ukraine. A large part of cruise missiles and the entirety of glide bombs are launched by planes, and although it is possible to intercept and shoot down cruise missiles after launch, glide bombs are very difficult to detect and intercept by traditional methods, due to their reduced size and the fact that they do not emit heat. This reinforces the thesis that, for Ukraine, it is much more advantageous to attack and destroy Russian planes when they are still on the ground, or at most when they are in flight approaching the Ukrainian border to launch their bombs, rather than simply waiting for the missiles and bombs to enter Ukrainian airspace before acting. As they often say in Ukraine, it is better to eliminate the archers than to simply try to intercept the arrows. And it is exactly this way of thinking that the Netherlands and Denmark have, who have guaranteed that Ukrainians will be able to use their F-16 fighter jets to attack important Russian strategic targets within Russian territory, and not just in Ukrainian territory occupied by Russia. Ukraine will still need the approval of other allies, such as the United States and the United Kingdom, to use long-range air-to-ground missiles to hit targets inside Russia with Dutch and Danish F-16 jets. But this is still an important step towards fully freeing Ukrainians to do something they should have been doing since the beginning of the invasion, which is to use advanced Western weapons to attack the rear and strategic Russian structures from which the attacks are launched. Russia has been doing this since the beginning of its invasion, so why can't Ukraine do the same to defend itself? Thank you for watching the video until the end. If you liked the content, don't forget to leave a like. This helps the channel grow and reach more people. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike and explain in the comments how we can improve. Also, comment with suggestions for topics we can cover in future videos. Insulting comments or those defending dictatorships or war criminals will be blocked without exception. Thank you for your understanding. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button below and hitting the bell to receive all notifications. Thank you. See you next time.